Why, hello there. My name is Kenji Dick.
And I'm Claudia Duick.
And this is Wittenberg Radio. It is November 7th, 2017, and it is episode 107. So I want to start off this episode with a bit of a statement in regards to last week. As you may or may not know, we had a weird ghost or force. We're not really quite sure yet, but something, we're pretty sure whose name is Peter Weeb, take over the show last week. He came in, he forcefully put us in this zone that we believe is full of old dead reformers, and took over the show and relaunched it as the new Wittenberg, which he put down as a Protestant-oriented discussion show. We have thankfully returned from the reform zone, and we have properly put him back to where he came from. But you know, it's a bit of an odd transition, for sure. And we want to apologize for maybe some of the confusing and misleading information that may have been popping up on our social media. He totally took over our Facebook page, but thankfully we've put everything back into place for the most part. Claudia, how do you feel about this?
Oh, you know, I'm just glad to be back. Really, it was quite an experience to go back in time so many 100 years, and I just have this new sense of gratefulness and gratitude for our life here in this world at this time. Of course, it's not perfect, but yeah, there is a greater sense of toleration, and I don't fear for my life as I did when I was in the reform zone.
Right, absolutely. And I can certainly agree with you on that. I never knew that anything as supernatural as old reformers would be as terrifying as it was.
Right.
But I guess they do exist right here within our halls. I don't really necessarily know the science behind that. We've definitely been in contact with many of the CMU faculty, none of which have gotten back to us, including Marilyn. But, you know, we're hoping that maybe we can find some answers. At the same time, though, we won't be looking for those answers right now. We're just happy that we're back on the show, on the air, and we don't want to really play with the supernatural for hopefully very understandable reasons. Thankfully, Peter Weeb has not been knocking at our or scratching at our door for the past week, and we hope that it remains that way. But we are happy to say this. The new Wittenberg is canceled, and the old Wittenberg is back. So this is episode 107 of Wittenberg Radio, and you are listening to it right now. But before we move on, we want to talk about the one thing that you have probably noticed about our website if you're listening to this episode right now. We have made some noticeable changes on the website, changing the overall format, as well as adding some brand new features that we're going to just take a few brief minutes to talk about right here and right now. So one of the big noticeable changes that we've made is to our About Us page. As you may or may not know, for the past few years, the bio page has had descriptions of Chris Clausen and Dan Friesen, and we feel like that changes to that page are well overdue, so we have finally updated it. You can now see beautiful pictures of both me and Claudia, as well as some bios for new viewers who want to know about the hosts of this show. And we've also changed the overall aesthetic of the page as well. We have sadly ditched the green aesthetic that has been associated with our brand for some time, for a more simplistic white and gray and red. That may not sound as pleasing, but of course, if you've been paying attention to the website, we hope that you agree with us that it is a much needed visual upgrade from before.
There's also a really cool Contact Us portion of the website where you can write us, comment on things that we've talked about, or suggest topics that you'd like to hear about. It's just another platform for you to contact us and, engage with this platform. We think this is a fun radio show where we can really do what you guys want to hear or talk about things that are important to you. So you can make use of that.
So yeah, Wittenberg Radio has a brand new website. Not a whole lot of changes, but we feel like definitely some needed changes, and we're so happy that they have finally happened. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns about our website, you can now contact us on our Contact Us portion of the page, but you can also email us at wittenbergradio.com, as well as contact us on Facebook and on Instagram. So yeah, changes are here, and we hope you like them.
Now it's time for upcoming events. There are a number of athletic events coming up, some basketball and volleyball games. There are 2 volleyball games coming up this weekend. On the 10th in the evening and 11th, men and women are playing here at the Lowen Athletic Center. So walk on over or go see them after your classes. It should be something special. Also, basketball game on Sunday, November 12th at 4, also here on campus in the gym. So go check those out and cheer on your Blazers. It should be quite the fun time. There's also a book launch going on November 8th. The book Along the Road to Freedom, Mennonite Women of Courage and Faith is being launched. It should be also quite exciting. Go to that book launch. There is more information about that on the CMU website. Kenji, what else is going on?
As always, I'm here to talk about the classic film series brought to you by the CMU Department of English and Sue Sorensen. This week, we'll be watching An American in Paris, which is a 1951 American musical film, which is inspired by the 1928 orchestra composition An American in Paris by George Gershwin. This stars Gene Kelly, Leslie Caron, and as well as many others, and the film is set in Paris, as you can imagine. This is a classic American musical, and we're going to be showing it this Thursday at Marpeck Commons, 8:30 p.m., and of course, as always, it is free admission. So again, An American in Paris, this Thursday, Marpeck Commons, 8:30 p.m. Hope to see you there.
Today on the show, we have the privilege of speaking with Selenna Hildebrand. She's a fourth-year student at CMU, so very experienced. She knows what she's doing. She's a BTS major and sociology minor, and is here to talk to us about CMQ and tell us what CMQ is all about. So welcome here, Selenna. Thanks for joining us. So let's get right to it. What is CMQ?
CMQ, I guess stands for Canadian Mennonite Queer. Yay! Claiming the name. I love it. It's a group that has been around for a number of years and kind of just changes throughout the years on what it is. But it's a support group for people that identify as LGBTQ asterisks, and for anyone that is questioning if they belong in that category. Basically, yeah, that's what we are.
And what do you do at, are they meetings? Do you...
I've been phrasing them as meetings, but it's more so just hanging out, being there for each other. This year we've just had 2 gatherings where we just come together, eat lunch together, and talk about, this last week we talked about what it's like to be LGBTQ asterisks at CMU, and what kind of things we've experienced through that. That's what we've done so far this year. Other years they've had external forums that CMQ puts on for the general CMU public. And so that looks like bringing in speakers to just raise awareness. It can look like having a movie night. Last year we put on a showing of Moonlight, which has queer themes in it. But that was for anybody. Anybody could go to that because anybody can watch a movie.
Yes.
And that was a great event. We even just have movie nights for our own group, just to watch movies that have queer themes in it with ourselves. Yeah.
And then discussion around that, or is it? Would you consider it like a support group, maybe? Or?
Yeah, more so of a support group, and just to be a group of people that can hang out together and not be worried about being ostracized or persecuted is too big of a word, I think, but just a safe space.
Yeah.
So often we'd watch a movie, and if we end up talking about it, great. If not, we've spent time together, and that's basically kind of what we do.
Nice. What is your role in CMQ? I always see you in the daily promoting it. Aside from that, why are you involved?
I'm involved because I wanted to make sure it happened, and if I didn't step up to the facilitator role, I'm calling it, I don't know if it would have happened this year. So that's why I stepped in and taking that role of just making sure it happens. Other than that, I wouldn't say I do anything else. I'm just a promoter for the group, and if anyone ever wants to talk to me about it, they're totally free to do that, to contact me. Yeah.
And is it fully student run?
Yes. Okay. This is a group that's fully student run. At this point, it's fully just for students, CMU students. If we as a group collectively decide this year that we want to have events where we incorporate other people, then we'll do that. But at this point, when we do our gatherings, it's CMU students that are LGBTQ asterisks.
Do you know how CMQ came into being, or like the story of?
I don't know exactly how it started, but I do know that there, in the past number of years, there's been a presence of LGBTQ on the CMU community, at the CMU community, and some forerunners decided to start it and create that support for the people on campus. And yeah, I don't know exactly how long it's been going on, but I think it's been going on longer than you would think it has been, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I didn't know about it until I actually started questioning my own sexuality. I didn't realize that it was a group. But I also think in my first few years it had gone a little bit more quiet. Like, people hadn't taken on the role of making sure it happens. But then now I'm in my 4th year and I'm making sure it's happening. So, yeah.
All right. How do you think CMQ benefits the CMU community as a whole?
Yeah. I think it provides a safe space for those that are LGBTQ, and that I think in general helps create CMU as a larger safe space. And even if people just hear, oh, there is a group, CMQ, that's great. Like, people know, even if they don't come to the group, but they could come, they know that there is that space for them, which I think is a way of creating a safe space at CMU in general. Also, like, it creates the space for the conversation to happen, even outside the group. Yeah, and I think, that's a positive thing.
Do you feel that it's supported by the larger CMU community, or faculty and staff as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's not like the same as it's not like a student council group, but it is fully a student group that it's there because students want it there, and because I want it there, so I'm making it happen. And I can make it happen without that logistic support from the institution in a way, but definitely from student life staff we feel that support. And I'm in communication with Marilyn Peters-Cleaver to make sure everything is safe from that level.
Right.
And so yeah, in all that, it's good that way. Yeah.
How does it benefit students that are part of it, aside from, I guess, the discussions and the support? Do a lot of people come, and is there support? Is it beneficial to them? Do they express those views?
Yeah, I would say definitely. It is definitely a good space for that. And for people, we definitely do have a number of students. I'm not going to disclose how many because that's the nature of our group. But we gather and we discuss, and we hang out, and that I think is the beauty of it. There's no pressure when you come, there's no pressure to be for you to say, oh, why are you why you're here. Everyone knows why you're there if you've come, and that's all we need. We don't need any disclosure or anything like that. That's all free for you to do if you want individually, but I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, mostly I just I think that for anyone considering showing up, it's important to hear that how beneficial it has been for people.
Yeah.
And yeah, to make use of this thing. It's sitting there waiting to be used,
yeah.
right?
And I would even say for myself, last year, when I started making use of the group, I loved the fact that it was just a group that we could come together, and you didn't need to explain why you were there. Everyone just came together and was like, yes, we are here because we need to be here for ourselves. And then we just talked about things, whether it was LGBTQ related or not. Normally it ended up being more related because we knew it was a safe space to openly talk about that. But even it was other things, like what TV shows we like, what movies we like watching, just how we experience being in the general world, or whether it's at CMU. And I think I liked the freeness of that, and that it wasn't just specifically focused around necessary LGBTQ stuff, but ended up being somewhat about that because that's a common experience we all have in some way.
I noticed on your ad that you say you appreciate support from allies, but want that to come from outside of the group. Why is it closed? And maybe how do you encourage people to come and join if they're unsure if they fit the label of LGBTQ or the many labels, any of them?
Yeah. I think the main reason we choose to have allies support from outside the group is specifically for those people that are unsure and aren't ready to come out of the closet yet. By having the space where it is with allies from outside, I think it does create that space for people that aren't ready to come out, but they feel safe enough to be with the people that are similar to them in this way. And like I said, we will probably have events where allies are encouraged to come. But at this point, the way CMQ is set up at this point, we ask just that allies remain as support from outside the group. And if we do have events that include allies, we will make sure we let them know because we do appreciate them. And we know that there are spaces that are appropriate for them to be, and there are spaces where we just kindly ask that they remain separate.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was talking with a friend who was saying that, they didn't know they were in the process of kind of trying to figure things out, discerning personally about these things, and wondering what would happen if I went to CMQ and then realized that I actually was straight. Like, would that offend them? And I thought, well, of course, probably not. But what would you say to someone like with those feelings?
I would say come. I think it would be a safe space for you to maybe ask some of those questions of, I don't know, what is this feeling I'm having? It's definitely a safe space for those kind of questions to come up, and ask people that are out, or other people that are questioning it, or people that have come to the point where they're like, no, I'm definitely not straight, but I'm not ready to tell the world yet. It is definitely a safe space for those kind of conversations to come up. And I think it's a space where they naturally come up and they don't feel as weird as they might in a different space, because we're almost anticipating them happening in a certain way. So I would say, if you're wondering what your sexuality is, come check us out. Or if you feel comfortable, email me or message me on Facebook or something, contact me, and we can talk about it more one-on-one if you're not ready to face a whole group.
Wow. So thank you. That that sums up, I think, most of what CMQ does. I hope that if you're listening and if any of this speaks to you, please do consider going or just talk about it with people around you. Thank you for making this safe space available for people at CMU and for talking to us about it. Thank you very much,
Thanks
Selenna.
for having me.
Thanks.
All right, so yours truly is going to be bringing your music pick of the week. And this week, I am choosing I Will Not Return as a Tourist by Boniface. Boniface, previously known as Micah Visser, is a local Winnipeg artist. I haven't really listened to a lot of his work before, but I was just recently exploring YouTube and found this lovely track. It is beautiful, melancholic, and I really love it. I don't really know how else to describe it, and I wouldn't really be doing it justice if I continue to be sitting here describing it to you right now. So we may as well just listen to it. So let's listen to I Will Not Return as a Tourist by Boniface.
Lately I've been feeling so strange. Wake up dreaming of cheap love and airplanes. I could never take what I needed. Our moments of pleasure were fleeting. And lately I've been feeling so cruel. A sweet plastic portrait painted of you. I could never draw out a meaning. Nothing more than a dishonest feeling. But you know it's not in me tonight. No words, nothing in sight. And lately I've been feeling so restless. I drove to a small town last weekend just to see where my head is. It's not here. All I found was a lounge with a jazz singer. Blue velvet, but how high do we need to get before we see? We're stuck on the ground. I've been saving money for a Greyhound ticket, and I swear I'll be getting out soon. You know I love you, but you know it's not in me tonight. No words, nothing in sight. And you know it's not in me tonight. No words, nothing in sight. But found my wallet on the nightstand. Spent the night in someone else's bed I can't stand. Spending nights away from home, but that's all that I've been doing. It's all that I've been doing. Then I woke up with the city on my mind. I can't keep up with my mind. It's always rushing to the next love. But when I return, I swear it will not be as a tourist. Will not be as a tourist.
That's it for Wittenberg today. Have a very nice week. We'll see you next week. And go to those events that we talked about, some sports games and that book launch. Should be fun.
Should be a radical time. My name is Kenji Dick,
And I'm Claudia Duick.
and we'll see you next week.
Wittenberg Radio is a production of CMU Student Council. The views and opinions expressed by hosts and guests are not necessarily those of CMU Student Council.